Welcome to Alyvix Server, a management system for the Alyvix visual monitoring tool. Alyvix Server keeps your Windows RDP sessions up and running while letting you schedule end-user bots continuously and in parallel. It provides programmatic access to both configurations and recorded measurements in JSON format. Alyvix Server also displays human-readable summary reports for each test case, including proof of success or failure with screenshots. Alyvix Server is a web application that you can configure and operate using three interface screens: workflows, settings, and test cases. It also exposes the Measurements API, allowing you to view configurations programmatically and display reports. Let's take a more detailed look at how to use them. The Workflows panel lets you control the workflow both globally and for individual sessions, starting and stopping them as necessary. At the right, you can see the current status of each session, indicating both the running state and the scheduling state. The Settings panel has one line for global settings, including the directory for your test cases and the scheduling period specifying in how many seconds workflow should restart. Below, there is a line for each session, indicating the login name, password, and resolution for that session. A new session can be added by filling out the details in the last row. The Test Cases panel displays a row for each aliased test case you have created, based on the Alyvix test cases located in the global directory configured in the Settings panel. Here you can set their parameters, regardless of which session they're used in. Once these are configured, you can return to the Workflows panel to assign aliases to a flow. We can manage the workflow of the sessions at the left, either all at once or one at a time. Let's start all three sessions at once with a play action. If we want to pause one, we can run the break action for that session. When we break the flow for user number 4, you'll immediately see that that session stops while the others continue, and its status on the right stays green, indicating that the session is not busy. If we restart user number 4's session with its play action, it resumes operation and the status indicators return to their previous state. Finally, we can pause all of the sessions with the global break action. You can use the Measurement API's Test Cases endpoint to inspect the test case configuration directly in a browser. Here, we're using the Chrome extension JSON Viewer Pro that lets us view the response either as a tree or as a chart, and lets us expand and collapse them. Now let's use the endpoint to get the latest reported measurements. Starting up our three sessions, we see that the Measures node has two children, which are the two test case objects in our single Visit Trentino test case. The repolling period is automatically set to half of the scheduling period configured in the Settings panel. The JSON produced by the endpoint is dynamic. To show this, let's add the Visit Trentino test case to our current workflow. Since Visit Trentino is now in two separate workflows, it will appear twice in our measurements. Now if we go back to our Measurements API page, reload, and look at our JSON measures structure again, we'll find 4 total elements, 2 test cases with 2 test case objects each. And of course, if we undo adding the Visit Trentino test case by removing it from the workflow, then take another look at the Measurements API endpoint, we see that the Measures JSON structure has only 2 elements again. You can also use a Measurement API endpoint to access the reports for a given test case alias. All available reports within the retention period will be shown, starting with the most recent. To see the report for a particular test run, click on its run code, which uniquely identifies that run. The row in red indicates a failed run. If the outcome of a run was successful, you will see a report like this one, which shows the parameters for the entire test case run, followed by the parameters and results of each individual step. If instead test execution failed, the red background will quickly highlight this, and the screenshot will reflect the state of the application at the moment the test case object failed. For instance, here you can see that a web page failed to load within the 10-second timeout. Alyvix Server is your go-to tool for managing multiple Alyvix monitoring robots. It manages your Windows RDP sessions, schedules your test cases, provides a RESTful API for reporting configurations and results, and delivers human-readable reports that certify your application performance. Let us know how we can help you use Alyvix Server to improve your business.